שהלכתי, לך זה לא שינה, ומיד כשחזרתי הייתה לך הרגשה שאני עוד אוהב אותך, שאני כבר שלך, ואהבת ושמחת וחשבת שרציתי להיות שם תמיד בשבילך, כי ידעתי שככה זה טוב, שלשניים יהיה יותר פשוט לאהוב, כל הדרך אני לצידך. גם אני עוד שומע וגם אני לא יודע איך עושים את זה, איך שזה לא קל לאהוב ללא תנאי. והופתענו כשבא השינוי הגדול, והבטחנו תמיד לדבר, וראינו אחרי שבועות וימים שלא קל לעמוד מול הרגל. גם אני עוד שומע וגם אני לא יודע איך עושים את זה, איך שזה לא קל לאהוב ללא תנאי. שזה לא קל לאהוב.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We will start our Shabbat service on page 636 with the poem Yedid Nefesh, soulmate, friend, trying to enter this Shabbat of Shabbat Shira, Parashat Bashelach, with the melodies that connect us with home. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. We are getting ready to welcome Shabbat, to take the challenge upon ourselves of recognizing, of celebrating time, of making our time count, of distinguishing from one day to the other. Make sure that you prepare Shabbos candles. If you have Shabbos candles, I see people that are very well prepared to light Shabbos candles. We'll go to them in a minute. Make sure that you have a Kiddush cup if you have one. And bring all, love seeing your Kiddush cups there. And bring all the symbols and the things that will help you transform this evening of Friday, this Friday night, into a night of Shabbat. This is a special Shabbat in our tradition. It's Shabbat Shira, the Shabbat in which we read the song of the sea, a song that happens spontaneously, a song that expresses the spiritual needs of those that were experiencing uncertainty, fear, and all of a sudden the possibility of a new reality became really, really tangible. We also acknowledge Tu B'Shvat, which is a holiday of yearning, a holiday of connection and yearning. And we will get there later in our Kabbalat Shabbat. So if you have some fruits to do the blessing for the fruits of the tree, I encourage you to have a few next to you. We will do a blessing, and we will take a moment to think about that too. And with all that said, let's get ready. Let's get started with Shabbat. I would like to invite Lauren Kokos and Mike Kokos to light Shabbat candles with and for us.
Mute. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat
Okay.
Shalom.
Okay.
Turn our theory into page 129. That's we 129. Ani ledodi v'dodi li. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. Gabriel is you. Come with joy to welcome Shabbat. We come with joy to the encounter with the divine, the Hu Nirana Adonai on page 130, followed by Shirul Adonai Shir Hadash on page 131.
Tall ברכו השמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו בגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו.
אדוני מלאכת אל הארץ, ישמחו הים רבים. אור צרו על הצדיק, ולאיש לב שמחה. שמחו צדיקים באדוני, בהודו לשכל קודשו. מזמור שיר לאדוני, שיר חדש, כי נפלאות עשה. We turn our series now to page 134. As we sing the words of Sambrula Adonai, we think also of the word lezamer, not just in the context of singing, but also in the context of cutting off. Lezamer also means to cut. And there are songs, there are melodies, there are words that help us let go of things that we don't need to hold with us and focus on the core, the growth that we need to do. We prayed for this Shabbat to allow us to find that disconnection, that cutting that help us connect more deeply. And we're introducing a new melody, Gabriel, right? Because it's Shabbat Shirah, and so we are doing some more psalms today. We turn our Sidurim to page 136. I invite you to close your eyes just for a second and think of something of an image, a sound that inspires awe in you, something that is breathtaking to you. Something that lifts you up. Shabbat, we are reminded that this universe is a gift to us. This world is ours to appreciate with wonder and also to enjoy it. We look at the light of our Shabbos candles and we remember that we were placed at the very center of this creation. And as we see this beautiful gift, we can't do anything else but lifting our spirits up and singing verses of praise, psalms of joy. Mizmor leDavid. Mizmor leDavid, avu l'Adonai b'nehelim, avu l'Adonai kavod ba'oz, avu l'Adonai כבוד שמו השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש כל אדוני על מים אל על כבוד עינים אדוני אדוני על מים רבים כל אדוני בכוח כל אדוני שובר הרסים בישבר אדוני צרסי הלבנון ויקדם כמו אל לבנון וציריון כמו בן רמים כל אדוני חוצב לעמוד אש כל אדוני יכיל מדבר יכיל אדוני מדבר קדש כל אדוני יכול אליי עלות
וחשוף להראות
כולו מרכבות וחלום כולו מרכבות אדוני למבול ישב וישב אדוני מלך לעולם אדוני יוס לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. Beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat. Lecha dodi likrat kala. We are on page 138.
לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד ישמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד שם לתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונחכים מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נזוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי בא עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
איי 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 איי, לך דודי, איי 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 איי, לקראת קלה, איי איי פני שבת, פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. יציץ עלייך, אלוהיך, כמסוץ חתן, הקל, איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת קלה, איי איי בני שבת. Let's take a moment to actually go step by step. There's some beauty in Shabbat in this idea of taking step by step. Sometimes when we run faster, it's actually a great opportunity to go backwards. לא תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת קלה, איי איי בני שבת, From left and from right, ימין ושמאל, תפרוצי, בית אדוני תעריצי. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת קלה, איי בני שבת, בני שבת, בני שבת נקווה. We invite you to rise your spirit and your legs and to face and trance the gate of the room where you are. As we say, Voi Kala, welcome bride. Voi ושלום, התרס בלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, איי 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 איי, לך דודי, איי 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 איי, לקראת קלה, איי איי פני שבת, פני שבת, פני שבת, נקבלה. Welcome Shabbat. We take a moment now to welcome each other, to say good Shabbos to each other, in the comments, in Zoom, and even if you are like, you're waving with your hands here in Zoom, it's beautiful to see your hands, you don't need to write, and for those that are in YouTube and on Facebook, you actually, please, we invite you to write good Shabbos, so we can know that you are here. You can tell us where you are connecting from. That's also a nice thing to do. Mizmor shir, Mizmor shir, leyom ha-Shabbat. Mizmor shir, Mizmor shir, leyom ha-Shabbat. טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולשמח לשמך העליון. טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולשמח לשמך העליון. היי להגיד בבוקר בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך בלילות. מזמור שיר, מזמור שיר, ליום השבת. We don't want any of our psalms to go unnoticed in this Shabbat Shira. So I invite you to turn your Sidurim to page 141 as we think of the wonders of nature and this universe that has been created for us. So some of you know this melody and some of you don't know this melody. And if we are intentional about this just for a moment, we will all know this melody. It's actually very easy. I think this key will work for all of us. And I know I can't hear you, but I want you to be able to sing. So it's important to find the right key for you to sing even when I can't hear you. I think here will be fine. It's a B. Mikolot mahim ravim. Try it with me. Mikolot mahim ravim. Adirim mishbere yam. Adirim mishbere yam. Mikolot mahim ravim. Adirim mishbere yam. You have that, right? Let's do it again. Mikolot mahim ravim. Adirim mishbere yam. Mikolot mahim ravim. Adirim mishbere yam. Adir b'marom Adonai. Adir b'marom Adonai. Adir b'marom I can't wait to be singing these melodies and dancing with you in the synagogue and online. We can't dance much here. We have lots of cables. It's dangerous even to stand up. But at some point, maybe in a few more weeks, we will be from the shul and we'll be able to move more and bring more movement to our Shira. So before we move into Ma'ariv, who knows what's the holiday that we celebrated last week? Say Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat, you are right. And let's make a shortcut. Tu B'Shvat is the new year of the trees. Now, it is very interesting how Tu B'Shvat developed. Because actually, initially, Tu B'Shvat, it wasn't a holiday at all. Tu B'Shvat was tax day. It's like April 15th. I don't know, that in the United States. Like nobody would be celebrating. Nobody who has a job and is paying taxes is celebrating. But if you don't have a job and you would wish to have taxes to pay, that would change your perspective. And that's what happened with Tu B'Shvat. Because Tu B'Shvat became a relevant holiday once we were in the first diaspora. Before that, it wasn't a holiday, it was just tax day. And as a matter of fact, one of the elements that we used in the old Israel to pay taxes were our premises, our fruits, our harvest. And so people started to yearn and to miss the work that they could extract from the land of Israel. So with the years, Tu B'Shvat became a holiday of yearning, of missing the land of Israel. Years later, in the 16th century, when the mysticians in Tzfat started to think about how to create deeper spiritual connections with our tradition, they came up with this idea of the Tu B'Shvat Seder, or some of the elements that we learn about in the Tu B'Shvat Seder. I have with me some fruits. By the way, another thing that was born in that time is the Kabbalat Shabbat that we celebrate every Friday, not the Marib of Shabbat that we do after from Baruch Hu north. So I have a few fruits. Have some. Oh, I got lucky. It fell in my chair. I will keep this cucumber for later. It's an important fruit. I will explain myself. It's not the sweetest one, but it is an important one. I have here a cashew nut. Why do you think I have a cashew nut? The cashew nut represents one group of fruits, the fruits that the outside, the hardness, the shell, cannot be eaten. And once you peel the shell, you can eat the inside. What does the date represent? Exactly the opposite. Exactly. That the banana is like the cashew nut, Mark. Now, the date represents exactly the opposite. Those fruits that I can eat the outside, but then there is some shell, there's some impediment, in this case is a seed, that doesn't allow me to have the entire thing. And this is true also for apricots, mishmishim in Hebrew. I love organic apricots. It is true also for apples. You don't get to eat the entire apple, right? You don't eat the seeds of the apple. Most people don't. Do you? Miriam does. Okay, for Miriam, the apple doesn't count in this group of fruits. And then there is a third group of fruits for which the only one I had at home was a cucumber. What did you get, Mark? You have grapes. But the grapes, they are seedless, so you can eat them with the seed. And so strawberries, I ran out of strawberries. So I got a cucumber. Cucumber is also a fruit, and you can eat the entire fruit. It's not sweet, but it has lots of water, and that's why I really like it. Now, what is the story with all these fruits? Why are we thinking about these fruits? What is the invitation of this holiday? There are several invitations. There are several things to think about. One is to think about ourselves. The Torah says, Ki Adam Etz HaSadeh. Like we are like the tree of the field. And sometimes when we observe nature, and when we are very intentional while observing nature, we can think about ourselves. We can think about our aspirations. We can think about how we want to be in our relationships. If we want to be something that is difficult to peel, if we want to surround ourselves with shells and to be unmovable, impenetrable, if we want to be sweet in the outside, but then when someone wants to connect deeply with us, we want to have a seed that doesn't allow others to get to the core of what we are, of who we are. or we aspire to simplicity, to a deep level of simplicity in which the outside and the inside can be grasped, can be understood, can be taken. So that's one idea. And with that idea, I want to do the blessing for the fruit of the tree. I will take my apricot, which is my favorite one. And I don't want to advertise Trader Joe's, but they have the Turkish organic apricots, and they make me happy every time I go and I do groceries there. So I will say, what's the blessing for the fruit of the tree? Borei priya. And so we say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei pri ha'etz. And before we transition into Ma'ariv, I want to use the symbols of Tu B'Shvat to take a moment to think about ourselves. I invite you to close your eyes just for a moment and to think about your roots. To think about what makes you feel connected to the creation, to your essence. To think about what are the shells that you need to remove, what is preventing you, preventing us from simplicity, from just connecting with each other. To take a moment to reflect on what is sweet in our lives. And what are the things, what are the places, what are the memories that we are yearning for? We're on page 145.
למדני אלוהי ברך ולהתפלל על סוד עמק על נוגה פרי בשל על החירות הזאת לראות לחוש לנשום לדעת לייחל להיקשר
למדני אלוהי ברך והתפלל על סוד לקבל על נוגה פרי בשל על החירות הזאת לראות לחוש לנשום לדעת לייחל להיקשר למד את שפתותיי ברכה ושיר הלל
להתחדש זמנך עם בוקר ועם ליל לבל יהיה יומי היום אתמול שלשום
למד את שפתותיי ברכה ושיר הלל להתחדש זמנך עם בוקר ועם ליל לבל יהיה יומי עליי למדני אלוהי ברך והתפלל על סוד לקבל על נוגה פרי בשל על החירות הסוד לראות לחוש לנשום לדעת לייחל להיקשר למד את שפתותיי ברכה ושיר הלל להתחדש זמנך עם בוקר בהין ליל לבל יהיה יומי על האור
כתמול
שלשום. return our Siorim to page 146 for Baruch. You know, we will use it as an intention for Baruch. We will use the sunglasses of some of us, those that are playing with icons in Zoom, those that put themselves in a TV frame, those that lit candles, those that are preparing dinner. Whatever you are doing, however you are coming to celebrate Shabbat, you are part of our community. And we count on you, and we see you. And whatever you are bringing to the table, we know that comes with love, and we love to have you here. Baruchu et Adonai, Yadai, Dai, Dai, Dai. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בדברו מלא ברבים, בחוכמה פותח שערים, בתבונה משנה עתים. You are creator of day and night, drawing light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening, Baruch Ata Adonai, המעריף ערבים. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן, אדוני, אלוהינו ושוכבנו וקומנו ונשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, on your mitzvot. For they are our life, and doing them strengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch Ata Adonai, Oev Amo Israel. We're on page 152 for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. We continue on page 154 with Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וכשאתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. אמת ואמונה, כל זאת, וקיים עלינו כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. When your children witnessed your miracle, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moshe, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. Please join me on page 158 for Micha Mocha and something special. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נעתר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which sang our history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she danced toward the night. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing we now to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and much to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're gonna dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long.
Baruch atah Adonai, Goel Israel. Blessed are you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. Our study to page 160. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, ועמידנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך. Grant to God that we lay down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian to life, renewed, spread over us the shelter of your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, Garden of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem, your holy city. Before Tfilat Amidah, we take a moment to remind ourselves of Shabbat. We are reminded of our covenant to keep Shabbat as a central part of our lives, but also to allow Shabbat to help us find center in our lives.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת ויהי נפל שבת, ויהי נפש.
We will now turn our Sidurim to page 164. For Tfilat Amidah, we invite you to try to find your Tfilah Shebalev, the prayer of your heart, to connect with your core. And you can follow the words of our Sidur, the millennial-old words of our tradition. But also, you just can try to find the silence that you need, the words that you need to articulate. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yegi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Now let's take a few moments for personal prayer. יהיו לרצוני מרפי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. Adonai tzuri v'goali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. V'imru. Amen.
We now take a moment to acknowledge those that are dealing with illness. We think of those dealing with this terrible pandemic. We think of beloved members of our congregation that tonight they are in the hospital. We are praying for their recovery. We think of first responders and those that keep our society functioning. And of course, we think of all those that are dealing with illness in their bodies, in their souls, and those that are dealing with addictions. As we raise our prayer on page 371, Misheberach.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us sing Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekol habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal
wish to all of them החלמה מהירה ורפואה שלמה, a fast and a complete recovery. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. What's the connection between the decision to rename 44 schools in San Francisco, the famous phrase, skeletons in the closet, and our Torah portion, Parashat Bashalach? This week, the school board of the city of San Francisco decided to rename 44 schools, explaining that the people these schools were named after had ties to racism or slavery. And so they dropped names like Abraham Lincoln, Dianne Feinstein, and George Washington, among others. Now, I find this decision alarming. I have no doubt that the motivation to improve our society and to clean it from racism and all expressions of hatred is a very noble one. However, its outcome is a very dangerous one. This kind of approach to people's legacies diminishes their lives to an error, a mistake, or our own anachronistic understanding of morality. Explains Rabbi Shai Held that because of its high moral standard, the Bible set rules for slavery. However, we wouldn't say today that the Bible promotes slavery. We would rather say, in a reading beyond time, that the Bible promotes relationships of mutual respect and dignity between human beings. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, thinking about the concept of cancel culture, brings the work of the American anthropologist Ruth Benedict, who coined the distinction between American and Japanese societies, as America being a culture of guilt and the Japanese society a culture of shame. Now, let's be honest. Anyone with a Jewish mother knows that we are a culture of guilt. And actually, that's good news. In a culture of guilt, there is a space for forgiveness, for rectification. There is also a space for the understanding of our own humanity as a work in progress. In a culture of shame, there is just judgment. There is no way back. The rise of social media and the way in which we communicate with each other is gradually removing the space for clarification, rectification, and growth, because everything remains recorded forever. And so we are judged. We are all becoming a culture of shame. Shame leads to two very concerning things. One, those that err, that make mistakes, cannot aspire to rectify or to be forgiven. And so they feel obligated to put their skeletons in the closet. And if they don't manage we know that shame cultures have the highest rate of suicide. There is no future. Number two, it is an alarming thing, and is that the culture of shame brings those that are or feel shameless to thrive. If you don't feel accountable, you thrive in a culture of shame. And that is certainly scary. Now, the decision of the school board in San Francisco sets a wrong moral standard. It says that your existence is reduced to your mistakes, as opposed to saying that your mistakes are also a part of who you are and what you become. Our tradition doesn't hide the fact that our forefathers and mothers were very, very imperfect human beings. They made mistakes, but they also did very good deeds and were led by noble intentions. This concept is key in order to distinguish the legacies of good and evil people. Now, I promise skeletons. In this Torah portion, we read in Exodus 13:19, ויקח משה את עצמות יוסף עמו. And Moses took with him the bones of Joseph, who had exacted an oath from the children of Israel, saying, God will be sure to take notice of you. Then you shall carry up my bones from here with you. They literally take Joseph's skeleton as they undertake their journey toward redemption. Now, while this act seems to be an act of kindness toward Joseph, it is actually setting a fundamental notion for those who are about to start the journey toward redemption. When taking the bones, the people understand that they too won't be forgotten, that their lives matter, that promises can be fulfilled, and that transcendence is a realistic aspiration. It is a moral obligation for us as a society to know that the icons of this country were also human beings, and they also made mistakes, and to think critically and learn from those mistakes. But it is nonetheless important to learn that they transcended because of their good deeds. A shaming society doesn't raise accountability, nor the bar of moral behavior. It rather hides immorality, causes paralysis, and sometimes even kills. We don't want to hide skeletons in the closet. On the contrary, we need to carry the bones with us, even when that work is sometimes beyond challenging. But if we do so, our children will learn that promises can be fulfilled, that mistakes can be rectified, that they too won't be forgotten, and that their lives matter. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We will continue our service, page 586. ושמו אחד. We'll now take a moment to acknowledge mourners in our community. We acknowledge those during the first 7 days of mourning. We acknowledge those during the first 30 days of mourning. And so we acknowledge those during the cycle of the first year of mourning. We also think of those that have a yahrzeit this week. I see you, Steve, standing up for your beloved father. We invite you to share the names of those that you are remembering. I see Cantor Shannon standing up. We invite you to share the names of those that you are thinking of, that you are remembering in the comments. Facebook and YouTube, and of course here in Zoom. As we accompany our mourners in Mourners Kaddish, we invite you to turn your Sidurim. Kantoshana is remembering her sister. It's already 2 years, right? 3 years. And Gabriel is remembering Joy's father. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. בעלמא יברח ירותה בימליך מלכותה. בחייכון ובימכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, באמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולמי עלמיה. יתברך בישתבח ביתפאר ביתרומם ביתנשא. ביתהדר ביתעלה ביתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה. למירם בעלמא. באמרו אמן. יש למה רבה מן שמיה, בחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, באמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, באמרו אמן. May the memories of your beloved ones be always a blessing in your life. So, in this Shabbat we sang a bit more than usual. It's Shabbat Shirah. It's the Shabbat in which we will read tomorrow, the Song of the Sea. And we remember the power of music. The power of music and in helping us to express experiences in our lives and to enhance experiences in our lives. So we will be singing also tomorrow, and we will be celebrating Shabbat tomorrow morning as well. We are organizing ourselves toward the holiday of Purim. So if you would like to participate in the holiday co-op for Purim, if you would like to participate in organizing congregational programming for Purim, some things are already running, but there's still time to join us and to participate, so let us know. You can write an email to me or to Rachel, and we will be happy to include you in the organization of Purim. I think I'm not forgetting almost anything. So I would like to invite Mike and Lorraine Kokos to to lead us in Kiddush. Mike, should I do Shechayanu or you start with Shechayanu yourself? Wait, not Shechayanu, Bayechulu. Look. I do Bayechulu. Okay. So those that are holding a Siddur, you can turn your Siddur to page 122, I think. Let me see. This is 122. Yes. I start and then you take it from there. And I want to show you, Mike, I got my Kiddush cup. I didn't take my Kiddush cup. I wanted a transparent cup because I wanted to do a white one, which is unusual for us. But in Tu B'Shvat, we mix between wines. So we decided to do some mixture because we are already thinking of the spring. And in Tu B'Shvat, we represent the spring with white wine and a little drop of red wine. Bayerev, Bayboker, can you hold the cup for me? Thank you. Bayerev, Bayboker, Yom HaShishi, Baychulu HaShamayim Ba'aretz Bechol Tzebaham, Baychal Elohim B'Yom HaShvihi Melachto Asher Asa, Bayshbot B'Yom HaShvihi Mikol Melachto Asher Asa, Baybarech Elohim Et Yom HaShvihi, Baykadesh Oto, Ki Bo Shabbat Mikol Melachto Asher Bara Elohim La'asot. Sabri Chaverai V'Chaverotai. Hi, Mike, you take it from here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiktanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah banu b'shabbat kodsho Be'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lemahaseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikrahei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim Ki banu bacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Chaim. Thank you, Mike and Lauren. Here they are. Here you are, the two of you. So we will start to conclude this Shabbos gathering. We'll take a moment to acknowledge the blessing of having each other, the blessing of being who we are, and being able to recognize our roots. As Shabbat invite us to connect in a gathering that is beyond time. We think of our parents, we think of our grandparents, we think of our children, and we think of all those that their existence, their lives, make our life a blessing. We say to our children, to our boys, Yivrechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. We say to our boys, Yasimecha Elohim k'Efraim ve'kemenashe. May God inspire you to be like the fathers of Israel. And to our girls we say, Yasimecha Elohim k'Sara Rivka Rachel ve'Leah. May God inspire you to be like the mothers of Israel. And to all of them we say, Yivrechem Adonai ve'yishmerechem. May God bless you and protect you. Yair Adonai panav elechem v'yichunechem. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. יישא אדוני פניו אליכם וישם לכם שלום. May God's presence be within you always. And may God bless you with peace, with wholeness, with the ability to find strength to sing the song of your life. אדוני עוש לעמו ייתן. אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good Shabbos, everyone.